Having a good morning? Do you like where you are? Where you're sitting? Do you like where you're sitting now? Yep. Do you prefer sitting there? Yep. You didn't want to sit with the girls? No. It's nice for you to say hello with the cat ball. You usually use the rods. Hi everyone. I thought I would do a pendulum session. Just because I haven't done one before. That heavy breathing you can hear in the background is my dog. He's a little bit old, so he tends to huff and puff a lot. This is a doll that arrived this morning. He, and I say he because that's the energy I pick up. He has been rather interesting. I've only had him he only arrived early this afternoon, I think, about lunchtime. I bought him on eBay. He's either Italian or Japanese. I haven't decided yet. I haven't kind of finished the research. He's made of plastic. He's vintage, so he's 1960s, 1970s. And since I got him, I've been noticing that he's been blinking. His eyes have been following me around the room. His aura looks absolutely amazing. So there's definitely something going on with him. I've nicknamed him Eric because he's a clown. He's a clown doll. And a lot of people have issues with clowns, and that's kind of fair enough. But his paint job looks familiar to me. It looks like the face paint used in the Brandon Lee movie, The Crow. So I called him Eric after that character. So I've never done a pendulum session quite like this before, so this will be interesting. So on the stand, I've got, and I use a stand because my hands shake. My hands shake quite badly actually, so I can't actually hold the pendulum still. So I take that kind of human element out of it and I stick it on a stand. This is just a stand that I had a couple of candle holders on. You don't need anything special really, as long as you can hang your pendulum on something above the ground. I've got a brass pendulum here. So this is a very heavy brass pendulum we use on investigations. You can actually unscrew this one and you can put crystals or salt or anything inside it to we actually had some grounding crystals in it, and we also had some salt in it at one point just to give you some protection, some pink salt. I've got it on a piece of cord so that I can change how high it is, the length. It's got a slip knot. The other thing I've got is a pair of rosary beads. I bought these online. They're actually 1930s and they're French. So I was drawn to those, and they've got a bit of protective energy. But you can use anything as a pendulum, really. It doesn't have to be your typical pendulum. I had a friend who used to use a macaroni necklace her daughter made at preschool as her pendulum. So it's whatever you tend to do. This is young Eric. I picked up when I could feel the energy before I opened the box. I actually felt the energy when I came across the listing on eBay. So he's quite strong. He's got a lot of anger issues. He's got a lot of sadness, he's got a lot of frustration, he's got a feeling of loss and grief, he's got a he's kind of got a bit of he's a bit cheeky, I think. He's a typical boy. I tend to pick up that sometimes he feels like a young child and sometimes he feels like a frustrated teenager. So I'm not quite sure what the go is there. So I'm going to ask Eric if he likes me calling him that. So we're going to center these. So all you do is you stick your hand under and you center them with your own energy. You just give them a tap and you center them with your own energy. There we go. When it goes into a circle, it's centering. So I don't know whether you can see that. This is a bit of an awkward. I'm filming this on my phone, so it's a little bit awkward. Okay, now a pendulum I tend to use around the stand. I've got a selenite crystal, which is protective. I've got a lapis crystal, which is also protective. I've got a tiger's eye, which is grounding, and I've actually got because I'm a witch, I've got my wand, which is protective as well. So it's just to make sure nothing messes with you're actually talking to who you want to talk to, not having trickster spirit jump in and try and have a go, because they tend to do that. So I'm going to ask young Eric if he can acknowledge that he's there by moving the pendulum tool backwards and forwards between him and I like this. So we'll see if he can do that. And it's slowly inching. I don't know whether you can see that, but it's slowly moving backwards and forwards. I'm not touching it at all. So Eric, if you want to talk to us, can you move it backwards and forwards between you and I? Now, when I do pendulum sessions, a lot of the time you can get a really definite sort of swing, or you can only get a subtle swing pretty much depending on the strength of the spirit and how familiar they are with the pendulum. So Eric, I'll bring the camera up a little bit so you can see the pendulum without dropping the camera. Here we go. So let's stop moving now. Can you move it again for me, Eric? You move it backwards and forwards between you and I. Now, I'm the only one home right now. There's no breeze. There's no windows open. There's no doors open. The heater's not on. So you have to kind of consider that when you do pendulum sessions like this, because things can interfere with it. Picking up, he's a little bit shy. Eric, can I ask you a question? So yes is between me and you. No is crossways, is sideways. Can you show me a no? So it's trying to move. He's only just getting it to go backwards and forwards. A lot of people do pendulum sessions different ways. Some people are very in your face about it and some people aren't. Eric, can you move the cross on the end of the rosary beads for me? Can you try and do that? It's still the one towards me that's moving. Can you push it backwards and forwards a bit harder? Sometimes you get a big result and sometimes you don't get a big result. I've got a spirit board which I tend to use as a pendulum board if I'm talking to a spirit that's fairly used to me chatting to them, but I haven't put that down today. I'll center it again. Center it. Okay, now I might move Eric over this side. I'm going to move you over here, Eric. You're closer. Yeah. Now, can you push the pendulum towards you? He's trying. And push it towards you. Sideways. Done. Cruiser, please. My dog's just going to sit right in the frame because that's what he does. Can you push it towards that white crystal? Now the white crystal is just here. I'll pull it up a bit so you can see it on the camera. Now I'll bring it closer. Where is it? Where's the camera? I might put the white crystal just there. There you go. Can you push that? Can you push that pendulum towards the white crystal, towards Cruiser, towards the dog? Better angle. So you can see. Like I said, I'm filming this on my phone, so it's a little bit difficult. I find that trying to establish kind of a rapport with the spirit that are connected to the dolls is a rather good idea, instead of just asking them a whole bunch of really personal questions that, you know, you don't walk into a room and, you know, and you don't walk into a room and people start asking you personal questions and you feel comfortable in answering. So I don't believe spirit are comfortable with that either. So I tend to just try and get a baseline and get them used to the equipment first. I got the idea that this particular spirit would probably work better with a pendulum than anything that flashed or beeped or moved or, you know, made noises. Or I find a lot of spirit find the equipment a little bit overwhelming, maybe, because, you know, they're not used to it. A lot of them haven't been spoken to. So Eric, can you push it towards that white crystal for me? I'll put it here. Where is it? I'm having trouble with the camera. There's the white crystal. We'll put it there. Should be able to see it there. Just see it in shot. There it is. So we'll center again. Okay. Now you'll notice that the cross is moving now too. I like to give them some variety, you know, different things. Part of talking to spirit and paranormal investigating isn't about getting a really big reaction all at once. It takes time. You spend a lot of time waiting, you know, sitting in dark, cold places in the middle of winter, talking to yourself, waiting for something to happen. And I found with the dolls, some of them talk a lot and some of them don't talk at all, and some of them tend to not want to talk straight away. I've had dolls for months that don't hear a peep out of, and then all of a sudden they decide to have a chat. So, Eric, can you move this? Can you swing it this way towards the camera for me? There we go. It's starting to go in a circle again, so it's going to change direction. Just a slight sort of tint. I don't know whether you can see that on the camera or not. But I thought that I would, this is how I do it. It's not how everyone does it, but it's how I do it. So now, this is how I tend to do it. Like I said, it's not how everybody does it. People do things their own way. I do like to have like a circle of protection around when I do pendulum work, because it just stops anybody messing with you, really. So we'll recenter them. You tend not to get a big reaction. I've only ever seen a pendulum go a bit crazy in a cemetery, when you can use pendulums to find things like portals and vortexes and stuff. So I tend to use them to do that. The heavier the better, really, because probably can't see that because Cruz has got his is black and the cross is black, but it is moving. Can you push it towards Cruiser, the dog? Can you say hello to Cruiser? Well, now we did an experiment here at home once, and I had a pendulum set up on a tripod, and we did have house spirit get interested and try and figure out what it was and what it was doing. Just trying to get a better angle on it. I've got a black Labrador sitting where there's a black cross. Move it over a bit. There we go. That's a bit better. So we do tend to do little experiments here at home on an odd occasion. I tend to use dowsing rods a lot too. I'll film one of those as well eventually. But this doll's aura is interesting. It's quite large, it's quite colourful, it's quite vibrant. There's definitely something going on with him. Did you have a good Christmas? You like what I've done with the place? I changed the lounge room around. Yeah? You like the new look of the lounge room? Like the music? Just say hello to the class. Make it flash and say hello. Say hello, everyone. How are you? Enjoyed the party. It was lots of fun. I'm getting tired. Yeah, I'm getting tired.